Hey everyone, it's Michael Kikle. I hope you're doing well today. I have a review here for another Dragon Ball Z film. This is one of my absolute favorites from when I was a kid, and sadly it didn't age the best this time around. It's been a while since I've watched this, probably closer to 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, somewhere in there. This is a film that's about 50 minutes long, and it's called Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn. Now, this is very much a Goku-centric film, but also eventually a Vegeta film, in case you're looking for that. A lot of Super Saiyan stuff, a lot of Super Saiyan 3 stuff, because this is kind of post-Majin Buu saga. Basically, there's another Otherworld tournament that's happening. Vegeta is in hell, from what I understand. And Goku is in a tournament fighting against Pikkon. And they find out that something goes wrong where this chemical leak happens, and this particular young demon in hell happens to get a tank blown up on him when he was just jamming out to some rock tunes and heavy metal, and he gets turned into this thing called Janemba, which is this big yellow thing. I don't know what to call it. It looks like it would be on My 600-Pound Life. And then he gets eventually modified into this kind of pink and orange, purple and orange looking demonic entity that's just badass. I love Janemba's later film version here that we have for this movie. I used to love to play as him in Budokai 3 back in the day. Janemba's a cool villain. Doesn't say a single word in the movie. Not once. Aside from when he's the big yellow form, when he's first made, he's basically like a baby. He just kind of says his name, Janemba, over and over again like a Pokemon. But anyway, this movie I watched religiously. I loved it just as much, if not more, than Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan when I was a kid. You don't have as great of a soundtrack or a score or anything. That stuff is good, but not as great as something like Broly or Broly 1 at least, BoJack Unbound, Lord Slug, Revenge of Cooler and Return of Cooler. Cooler's Revenge? That's what it's called. Anyway, Fusion Reborn to me is very cool as an Otherworld film. Otherworld always had this very unique fantasy look to it. And when the tournament is suspended for Pikkon and Goku to go ahead and take care of this threat of Janemba, that stuff is really interesting and kind of funny too. This film has way more humor than I remember it having, because when this whole Janemba thing happens, hell opens up, the dead are coming back to life from heaven and hell because King Yema is stuck and not being able to do his job. So people are coming back to life on Earth that were dead. For example, you have this family that were at their grandpa's death site, his, spot in the graveyard. And he just comes back as a ghost, sitting on top of his gravestone talking to him. And they're like grateful but scared but happy at the same time. Great performance from those people. Really good writing there for those guys in a very small moment in this movie. But then you have like Frieza and Cell come back, right? Gohan takes them out in literally 0.2 seconds. But get this is the best part. Goten and Trunks have to go up against fucking Hitler. The mustache man himself shows up in this movie. Very tiny, very arrogant, as always. And he's driving his tanks around like it's Germany all over Earth. And Trunks and Goten are attacking him. And there's this great moment when they're fucking around to try to piss him off that they turn Super Saiyan. Dude, I don't think you could ever have this movie come out in the US now without Twitter having a meltdown over it, because of the joke they make. Those two turn Super Saiyan in front of Hitler, and he says something to the effect of, "Blonde hair and blue eyes, I should recruit them." Oh my god, dude. When I was watching this the other day, I choked. I was laughing so hard. Because I don't know why it caught me off guard. It's not even that great of a joke, but it was good enough that it made me laugh. I don't think Akira Toriyama was involved with this movie, as far as I know, very much. From the standard I understand, he wasn't involved in many of the films at all until like Super and Battle of Gods and all of that. But dude, that's a great line. Whoever wrote that needs to have some kind of, raise or something. I don't know. But Fusion Reborn is very strange. It has a lot of humor and a lot of seriousness, like when Goku and even Pikkon and Vegeta are having to fight Janemba when he becomes the more serious, like I said, pink and orange Janemba version when he kind of transforms later on. This really brings out a lot of cool things. Matter of fact, this is the first time ever in a movie that we see Gogeta, ever. in history. We didn't see Gogeta in Dragon Ball's anime, or Dragon Ball Z's anime. We only saw Vegito when they do the fusion with the earrings. Is it Pantera? I don't know. But the headphone, their earring thing that happens in the Dragon Ball Z anime is not the same fusion here. They actually do the fusion dance they showed Goten and Trunks, or at least Goku showed Goten and Trunks. He has to teach Vegeta that dance here. Vegeta doesn't want to do it because it looks goofy. But we actually get to see Gogeta for the first time in this movie, and if I remember correctly, I think this is the first time ever that we saw fusion in a Dragon Ball Z film. I don't think Broly Second Coming or Bio Broly had fusion with Goten and Trunks in it, as far as I can remember. But Fusion Reborn, I think for the most part, is an absolute treat. The animation and the absolute beautiful color palette they used for this movie, it all looks amazing. Every bit of it looks so good. And again, even the jokes and the humor, despite being a bit much, are great. I love the Hitler jokes in here, making fun of this asshat from back in history. I love all of that. It's really funny shit. The fights get pretty tense, man. There's one scene where I'm going to tell you flat out, there is no reason Goku didn't lose his arm. If you've seen this movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. But there's one scene where Goku absolutely should have lost his arm, and he did not. And it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. So Dragon Ball Z Fusion Reborn, I don't have anything else to say about it. To me personally, this is the last good Dragon Ball Z film. Not Dragon Ball movie. But this, for me, is the final good Dragon Ball Z film that I really appreciate, despite it being a little bit of a mixed bag with how much it delves into humor and stuff. And sometimes the seriousness being pretty tense. The next film, and the final Dragon Ball Z film, is called Wrath of the Dragon. And I've only seen it twice. And I just rewatched it about a week ago. And I'm going to talk about it. So anyway, have you seen Fusion Reborn? Do you love it? Do you hate it? I'd love to hear everything you have to say about it down in the comments section down below. Let me know all of your thoughts about this film. Are you as nostalgic about it as I am? Because I've always liked this a lot. I always thought it was a really good movie, and I've had it on DVD like most of my life. So that should tell you everything you need to know about me as a Dragon Ball Z fan, or whatever. So anyway, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all. Catch you next time in the next review for a Dragon Ball Z film. Again, it's going to be Wrath of the Dragon. And then we'll continue on into the GT films, which is technically a Path to Power Dragon Ball movie, and then a GT movie called Hero's Legacy. And then we'll talk about Evolution, and then we'll talk about the Super films, and that'll be probably everything at that point. So anyway, tune in for that. Thank you all for watching, guys, and eventually there will be a ranking video in case you missed out on that in the previous reviews that I talked about that. So anyway, thank you all, God bless you again, and goodbye.